The following AOR live stream is brought to you by our sponsors Elgato Gaming, Hype Energy Drinks, GT Omega Racing and Thrustmaster. Make sure to check them out in the description below, and we thank them for their continued support. Hello and welcome back to Apex Online Racing for live coverage of the F1 2018 League with Hype Energy. We are on the PS4 and bring you full live coverage of F2 this week from the Circuit de Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. The Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona first hosted a race in 1991, replacing the Jerez circuit as the host of the race. The track is well known as many a winter test has taken place due to the Mediterranean location and sees many different turns, with the long turn 3 a real punisher on the tyres. There's two DRS zones tonight as well, one down the main straight into turn 1, with the second DRS zone down the back straight into turn 10. Tyres for this race are super soft, soft and medium, and as always will be key to victory here tonight. Now, last time out in Baku it was VP McGrady in the Haas who took the win, making it 4 different winners in 4 races so far this season. Can one of our previous winners take a second win, or will we see another new winner here tonight to make it 5 out of 5? My name is Andy, and joining me tonight after missing last week due to illness is Ollie. Ollie, it is good to have you back in the box with me. Hope things are good, and how do you see things going here tonight?
Yes, it's one of them things, you know, sometimes you get ill. I dare say your vocal cords will be grateful I'm back, a little bit of a respite.
Just a bit.
Spain is one of them tracks that I think everyone kind of looks forwards to, purely because it is such a hectic, high-speed track. It's very similar in nature to Austria and Brazil in the fact that you never really get a break. It's just full-on action. There's always opportunities for overtaking. There's no real tight corners apart from the final few chicanes, so overtaking is really possible through most corners, really. I mean, if you want to go for a risk, you can get a move done at quite a few corners, so it should be an interesting one. We have 17 drivers here today. We've had 4 different race winners, of course, in the first 4 races. Round 5 tonight, and then next week we're going to Monaco. So this is going to be a real hectic one for the lads, and they really do need to turn up the wick.
Yeah, definitely so. Principality next week, the jewel in the crown of F1, of course, in Monte Carlo, and that is bound to be an interesting one. But we need to concentrate on what's going on here tonight. And at the moment on the screen, you do see CSR Ash, who won the season opener in Australia, and he's already into the chat. Good to have you back on the chat, giving me qualifying updates, Ash. He says this is another bad track for him, so he's not looking forward to this, but he will be the first one to set a lap. He's coming through the final sector, so I'm going to get a hot lap from him in a moment. Any ideas of who's going to be on pole real quickly before we jump on a lap with Ash?
It's very tough to say. I've heard a few guys say pace-wise they can do a 1:16, like mid to low, but a few guys have even said there's potential for 15. So looks around about the low 16, 15 for pole. If anyone can get into the 15s, it's probably going to be the top spot for them.
We'll soon see. Here comes Ash to start his lap, and thank you as well, Casper. He's going to be in the pit wall giving me some updates on the chat also. But here we go with Ash, down the main straight, DRS open, 205 miles an hour, using a little bit of the curb in there, missing the apex into turn 1, 4th gear through it, and here's that long turn 3. Holding it in 5th gear, then 6th gear, running a bit wide. That could invalidate the lap possibly, but he keeps going for now, and then hard on the brakes into turn 4, down to 3rd gear, building up the speed one more time, and then it's a tricky turn here, turn 5. He can easily catch you out. It tightens down to 1st gear briefly, and then 2nd gear to pull up the traction. Heading down towards the back end of the track now. This is a quick section here, turn 7 and 8, and then turn 9 is almost flat out, just a little bit of a lift, but very wide there for the McLaren. He's got another car ahead, feels a bit of slipstream, and then down into turn 10. Hard on the brakes. We're going to see a lot of overtaking into here this day on the race time, and then up the hill. And this is a tricky corner. You want to get on the power, but it keeps going and keeps going. Now you can get on the power, and then into the revised last section. Used to be flat out the last 2 corners, but now it's a tricky left-right chicane, and then it's on the power, and unfortunately Ash doesn't go through the last corner, but we still covered a lap off the track apart from that last corner as he crashes coming into pit lane. So no one set a time just yet, so keep an eye on the standings, but the mixture of tyres out there, super softs and mediums, with only one driver, which is no, not anymore, in fact it's VP Vettel. Yes, he is on the softs, and he's the first one to set a time with 17.9.
Yeah, just heard from the drivers it's going to be a sunny race, so there's no chance of rain, even though it does look a little bit overcast at the moment. The sector flags, the yellow flags in the separate sectors, one of them was the H-Eagle, who come to a complete standstill to let a few guys pass there. For strategy-wise, I do know that we're looking at a safe one-stop if you're starting on the soft compound tyres. If you're on the super soft, it's a very risky strategy, but it can still be done. I'm expecting most of these guys to qualify on the soft compound tyres because the super softs are a useless race tyre, and for qualifying pace, you're not gaining too much significantly. As you can see, RC Spider has only gone a tenth quicker than Vettel there, so there isn't a huge gulf in pace, but there is a huge gulf in tyre degradation round here. The hotter the conditions, the more likely these tyres are going to shred much quicker as well. We're hearing as well that some of the guys are finding 105-degree tyre temperature inside their inside the carcass of them Pirelli white walls hard tyres, and obviously the yellow and reds are the other options of tyres around here today. So it should be an interesting one. Tyre degradation is going to be a key factor, so too is pace. The top man at the moment is Jim Passy at 17.7. But I think a lot of these guys are just setting safe banker laps at the moment, Andy, ahead of probably a real late flourish at the end. So I'd expect probably with the last 5 to 4 minutes, you're going to see a lot of these guys on the yellow compound soft tyres.
Yeah, I can imagine. So the end of the session could be really interesting. Obviously that last sector, sector 3, is a very tight bit with the last chicane as well, so we could see a bit of a backup coming towards the line as people try to find space to avoid catching the car in front. And if that happens towards the end of the session, someone might miss getting across the line, and that's something we'd expect to see next week in Monaco for sure. We're watching Ruben at the moment in the Mercedes. This is his home Grand Prix for the Spaniard in the 93 car, and he's coming round to complete his first flying lap just now. He's on the medium tyres, so the hardest possible, and there's Lee Findlay with 17.6 on the mediums, so that's a pretty decent lap there from the McLaren driver. He was pole position last week in Baku as well, unfortunately got caught out in an incident that took CSR Hamilton out of the race. That ruined his race, so he's setting a pretty decent lap, but he was saying that tyres are going to be the main bit as well, but it's a decent lap on the medium tyres there from Lee Findlay.
Yeah, I've just been looking at a few guys. McGrady, when he was coming into the pits, actually took a very tight line coming into there, and of course you've got to remember with penalty systems, Sean picked up a 5 points onto his licence for wrongfully coming into the pit, so McGrady might want to watch out on that, because if you do that in the race, we do have some people that will report it. If it's caught on stream or if they just catch it in general, it will be reported, of course. So somebody mentioned in the chat about sandbagging, as we did mention, it's what we're expecting at the moment. These are not competitive times at all, and the man who's on top is on medium compound, so probably a lot of lifting and coasting at the moment from these guys. It's a shame, really. You kind of want to see them burst out the blocks nice and quickly. Obviously, last week at Baku, it was one of them races where it was a race of attrition, whereas this is going to be a race of strategy and who has the best mindset. You know, there's such a variety of race circuits on this calendar, and it is really an ebb and flow of who could win the championship. I really do think any one of the drivers out there can still have a chance of winning the championship, because it is so open at this early stage. We still have quite a significant amount of guys who haven't set times. Tactician, Hamilton, Casper, Prenter, Cherry Tupai and Ash all have yet to set times, but three of them have come out to set times now. I think Cherry Tupai is coming through the final corner on mediums to rev up for a lap, so he's probably going to be the next guy to set a competitive lap time.
Yeah, definitely. So just while we've got this moment at the moment just now, I will just quickly confirm the championship standings. With that victory last time out, VP McGrady leads the championship now on 53 points. 3 points clear of the Eagle in the Salba in second. Casper in the Toro Rosso is in third. They were the 1-2-3 in Baku last week. Sean's dropped down to fourth due to a poor race in Baku. He only got 9th place. He is on 43 points, so only 10 behind the leader. In 5th place is Tactician in the Red Bull. Ash, the winner in Australia, is 6th place. So all the winners are still in the top 6 at the moment, and there's only 16 points between them. So one race win could very easily change that very quickly for anyone. And as you say, this league is extremely competitive, and it is harking back to 2012, where in real life we've seen 7 different winners in the first 7 races, and we've currently got 4 from 4 just now. So could we see 5 from 5, as I said in the intro? It'll be interesting to see if that does happen. But yeah, a few drivers still to set a lap, so 9 minutes, we're under the 10-minute mark. There won't be too much more time, and it'll come up to 5 minutes before long. Yeah,
Cherry Tupai coming around the final corner now on his set of the white-walled mediums. using only half of his ERS. He goes faster, 1 minute 17.6. As we can see, that's probably not going to be the most competitive time. A lot of guys are coming out on track now. Your H. Eagle and Sean both fitted the super soft, so it's Davidos who is out there as well, tactician on the soft compound tyres at the moment. These times really aren't representative of the guy's pace. As well, though, I have seen in other sort of forms of racing and some practice races that these guys have done, starting outside the top 10 isn't actually the end of the world, because if you can get that ultimate strategy to work well, say starting on the mediums, going on to say a set of super softs, if you really push it, then super softs will be rapid. They will degrade very quickly, so it'd probably be smarter to go onto the softs, but the pace difference between soft and medium is quite a sizable gap, so some of these guys may go for a couple of risky strategies. With just over 8 minutes to go, the guys who are out going out on super softs are probably going on banker laps just to get them used to the track, heat tyres, set maybe just a little bit quicker in case they do make a mistake on their fastest lap. Just a bit of safety. You can never have too much safety in the world. Maybe some high visibility jackets and some hard hats for these guys as they're going to be ramping up. Just 8 minutes left in the session. It's Cherry 2 Pie from Lee Findlay and Davidos, all three of them who set their fastest times. Cherry 2 Pie on mediums, Lee Findlay on mediums, and now VP Vettel goes top of the 1 minute 16.9. Not the quickest time, but definitely a good banker for him, which he can improve on later on.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more representative of what we're expecting to see. And you're talking about safety. I was starting to think you work for the Health and Safety Board there, Ollie, with the high-vis jackets. But oh, it's probably just as bad then. But yeah, there's Big Parenta in the Red Bull 16.5. So now we're starting to see some lap times coming up on the super softs. So the Red Bull driver goes into provisional pole. Him and VP Vettel racer, there he is on the screen, just completed his lap a wee bit ago. The only drivers into the 16s just now at the moment. You can see the gap between those two and everyone else is over a second, but that will start changing. The Eagle into third now. He's still a second down, but that's in super softs. So we're going to start seeing a big change. There's a few drivers in the pits, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in this session. Just over 6.5 minutes to go though. Spanish Grand Prix here at the Circuit de Catalunya. You are watching the Apex Online Racing F1 2018 leagues with hype energy drinks, and this is round 5 of F2 on the PlayStation 4. And as I say already, we've had 4 different winners in the first 4 races, so a very competitive league, and everybody's got the chance of winning on their day. And will someone else be different winner today, or will we see a repeat winner finally this season?
Yeah, just looking at the tyres that the guys are going on to, Davidos, who's come through the final corner, has taken a hell of a chunk out of that final chicane, and probably got a warning for that. But obviously, if he continues to do that in the race, it might be dangerous for him, as he's now going on to a lap. I'm seeing a lot of soft compound tyres going onto the cars. Cherry 2 Pie is fitted soft, Lee Findlay soft, Pasty soft, Spider soft, and Sam also, and Casper as well. A lot of the guys who are in the pits at the moment probably will move over to them soft compound. The guys who are out on track are probably going to try and change it, but Big Parenta, a 16.5, as you said, probably more representative of what we're expecting from these guys. I would still say we could maybe see a 15 if somebody really does push it. Maybe Sean could get there. He's very quick on his day, as we know. There's a few other guys. Ash is yet to set a time. He's out on mediums though, which is a bit risky for him. A lot of drivers actually do see P11 as the target for them, because you do get a fresh set of tyres, and around a track like this where degradation is so key, them extra few laps, fresh tyres, if you can have a really good start, can come in handy. As well though, if you do pick up contact round here, even the slightest bit of damage to your front wing can cause major understeer and oversteer, and you could really struggle coming through a lot of these corners, and that could really hinder you. Somebody who's obviously acquaint with contact with guys is Cherry 2 Pie, who I believe has had contact in every single Grand Prix this season. I had a student inquire for every single one. He only picked up his first points, I think, in China, but he still was involved in a little bit of contact. But you expect that sort of thing with league racing. These guys are very competitive, you know, racing incidents coming here and there, but there are a lot of soft compound. Everyone who's coming into the pits as well now, you can see now. So with the last just over 4.5 minutes to go, the soft compound tyres are going on, and there's a few guys on super softs who are probably going to risk it, try and get the top spots, because if you do have track position, that can be quite crucial. But overtaking is not impossible around here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
No, definitely not. We're currently watching the Baku winner, VP McGrady, come through onto the back straight, DRS open, and I'm expecting down into turn 10 here, Lakaxia is likely to be the place where we see most of the overtaking going on. High speed, DRS open, nearly 200 miles an hour, down into second, sometimes even first gear, depending on driver preference. He's coming round on a set of super softs as Lee Findlay gets himself back into the session. I hope that's not something we're going to see from Lee going forward. I hope his internet's okay. And McGrady decides to pull into the pits, so he's not happy with that lap, and he is pulled in. We've got everybody in the pits except for Jim Pasty, but there's a few of them starting to come out onto track now, and we'll just need to see a lot of them all on super softs. But out of those on super softs, a few of them have set their best lap time so far. A lot of them coming out on softs, but they've set their best lap time so far on super softs, with some of them setting them on mediums, as I get myself a bit mixed up there with the tyre compound, and it's probably not the first time I've done that in my life either.
Yeah, what do Dortmund and F2 have in common? There's one hell of a yellow wall here. There is actually three guys. There's only three guys who have a set of super softs on at the moment. Everyone else is on the soft compound tyre, but the guys who are on the super softs are still in the pits, and I'm imagining they're going to change yet one of them. So it's just two now. VP Vettel and Parenta have got the super softs attached to their cars at the moment. Everyone else is on the soft compound tyres. As expected, they are the best race tyre. They may as well just have scrapped the super soft, but in my personal opinion, and a bit of a selfish one, I would have made it hyper soft, ultra soft, super soft, just for a little bit of drama, because it would have made it a bit more exciting. It's now going to be a case of who can get the best track position. These guys are all going to bunch up. We're going to see one hell of a train starting to form with some of these guys. I can see that Hamilton's right behind Ruben, for example. These guys are going to bunch up. And I believe RC Sam is just about... No, I think he's just come out of the track. So yeah, a lot of these guys... In fact, Big Parenta has called it, and he's decided to go onto the super soft tyres. So Big Parenta is the only guy out on track at the moment who is on the super soft tyres. He could be joined with Vettel as Pasty's retired from fourth. Probably not the most comfortable position. Vettel has now also come out of his pit box as well. So I believe he has. Yes, Vettel has come out of his pit box. He is on super soft. So them two could well make up the top two spots on track here today. So it could be a very interesting qualifying session for them two. And it is going to be a case of who can be the best of the rest, because they could be the favourite for this Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely so. His strategy is going to play a big part. Ash is still to set a lap, but he's in the chat there saying that on the medium tyres he was about 1.2 off of what Lee's done. Lee up there in 8th place at the moment, but he's out now at the moment on the soft tyres like everybody else except from Vettel and Big Parenta, as you say. And with a minute and a half to go, this is going to turn into a pretty frantic session, as everybody except from Tactician and Jim Pasty, who's already retired from the session, are out on a lap. Tactician still in the pits, so he's obviously decided he's happy with that. He obviously thinks he's good enough to stay in the top 10 start on that tyre, and I don't think he's not going to be able to get round, so he is that's him finished for the qualifying session with a minute to go. We're watching Dawidos at the moment in the Ferrari just slow down through the last sector, and he's just about to fire it up and have a go in that Ferrari. Ruben up into 5th place in the Mercedes, so a good lap time from the home driver as Dawidos starts his flying lap. Under a minute to go, and we've got everybody but 2 on the track, so we've got 15 cars on track just now in the final part of qualifying.
Yeah, VP Vettel was only 40 seconds left. He's having to let a lot of guys through who are on laps, so he might actually leave it very, very late. You might need to ramp it up a little bit now, so as he comes through the final sector, it could be tight for him. There's a few guys, Casper for example, who's done 1 out lap and then an extra lap to warm up his tyres and go again. They're going to see a lot of guys crossing the line now, just 20 seconds remaining in this session. Sean has just crossed the line to set a lap, so he could be one of the last guys. Also Lee Findlay as well is just crossed and started the first sector. McGrady, last time out and championship leader, 14th at the moment. Not good from him. Daniel has got across the line in time. There's a few guys I want to keep an eye on and see if they get across. Hamilton has gone off and also made contact with McGrady, so that's why they've both called it a day. They've both made contact down at the hairpin style corner on the back DRS straight, and both of them have called it. That is why. Actually, that might be RC Sam actually. But there was contact there. I think it was McGrady, so that's not really ideal from them two as they were squabbling out. Cherry Tupai up into P3 at the moment. He's doing well for the battle best of the rest. Tactician in second, and Casper is in fourth. He did not make the cut. Vettel was able to as he comes through. He'll probably be one of the last guys on the super soft, so he could well be in contention for pole position here. Davidos has gone into 8th. H Eagle moves up to P7. Lee Findley's coming through the final few sectors as well. Here comes Shaw though through the final chicane. Let's see where he can go as Ash only gets 14th. Not great from him there. You'd expect a bit better. RC Spider moves up into P2 for the best of the rest. Here comes Sean across the line. Where can he move up to? Only P5 at the moment for him. All eyes gone to Vettel, who is coming through this final few sectors now. That long uphill right-hander wants to hold the camera as he comes through, clipping the apex nicely, opening the corner through the final two chicanes. Wants to open the corner nicely and get as much power onto the exit as he comes around this 90-degree final corner. Can he go pole position on them super soft tyres? He crosses the line. Where can Vettel go? We'll have to find out. I think he may have got P3 in fact, or P2.
7th.
Oh no, only 7th in fact. Only 7th for Vettel, so that was one hell of a scrappy lap from him. Not good at all.
No, definitely not. I was just catching at the end. Didn't look like he had made enough of a gap, but we'll just wait here for the final standings. But it looks like it will be a Red Bull on pole position, and there we go. It's Big Parenta will be on the super softs, 1:16.527. But look at that lap time from RC Spider. Just under 2/100ths of a second behind in the Force India and on the soft tyres. Tactician takes third, so Red Bull sandwiching the Force India. Cherry Tupai takes fourth, Sean in fifth, Casper in sixth in the second Toro Rosso. VP Vettel we just seen there 7th, and that's super softs for him as well. VP Dam Daniel is in 8th, Ruben in 9th. Eagle rounds out the top 10, and only 2 of them on super softs. Everyone else done it in softs, but those from Davidos down, it'll be interesting to see what tyres they start on, because they've got free choice, of course.
Yeah, I just looked at VP Vettel's time. He was up in the first 2 sectors and then dropped it in the final one, so he must have made a mistake. I was on board. It looked like he just got a little bit scrappy and actually lost 5/10ths of a second, so not ideal from him. We'll have to keep an eye on what these guys do set their tyres as. So from 11th downwards, of course, get a free set of tyres. Super soft, soft and medium. They are the red striped, the yellow stripe and the white striped tyres. That's how you can indicate. Obviously, intermediates and wet tyres are available. If it does start to get a little bit drizzly down here, but from what we're hearing, there is no chance of rain from these guys. A standout performer in qualifying, actually, Cherry Tupai in 4th. Wasn't expecting that from him, but he done a very good job. So we could see some interesting battles. I'm hoping Big Parenta maybe pulls away a little bit at the start, then has to pit later on, and it kind of creates a bit of a dynamic. But this could be some really good racing with these guys.
Yeah, definitely could be. And you say Cherry Tupai 4th place, so it's decent qualifying. He's had some horrible luck this season as well. Whenever there's an incident, there seems to be him involved somewhere, whether it's his fault or not. So he'll be hoping to avoid any drama down into turn 1. But Big Parenta's going to have to hope he's got the speed to run away and hide, being on those super softs, so that he can build just enough of a gap so that when he pits, it's not going to cause him too much of a problem later on, and he can still come back through the field. But those on softs are looking pretty decent. We're just going to get an idea of who's on what tyres further down. So we know the top 10, and everybody's still on the softs except McGrady, who's on the mediums. So the championship leader, last on the grid here after winning last time out, has gone for the alternate strategy. He's going to try and go the mediums and then either soft or super softs at the end as Lee Finley joins the session again. I really hope that doesn't happen to Lee during the race, because it would be a shame to see him drop out due to internet problems. But we are on the formation lap now as we head around for round 5, the Hype Energy F1 2018 league here on Apex Online Racing. Who's your money on then, Ollie? Who do you think has got this one? Do you got a pick for today or not?
Yeah, I was going to say to you, who's your wild card and who do you think is going to win it? I think win-wise, I'm going to say Sean or Tactician. I think Tactician. I think he's very good in race situations. One to watch. I believe from history we've done 3 rounds together. We've done it. I believe I'm 2-1 in the one to watch. I think you clawed it back at China with Tactician, in fact. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and this is one hell of a limb, and I'm going to say McGrady. I reckon he could get top 5 today, because I think if he plays that safe and he keeps it nice and mature, doesn't get involved in incidents on the medium compound, goes for the longest strategy, maybe gets a bit of an overcut on fresher tyres and softer tyres, I reckon he could get a decent point sort today.
You just stole my pick, darn you. I'm going to have to find someone else now. I'm going to say watch out for... I'm going to say watch out for Lee. He done really well last week in Baku. Got caught up obviously with the incident with Hamilton retiring, and that cost him part of his front wing, put him down the field, but he was quick, and he has said he likes this place, but it is just down to the tyres. Obviously he's been finding the tyre wear hard to manage. He's on the soft, so he's got the chance to run long if he can keep it together, and I'm going to say Lee Findlay for a top 5 at least, so it's like you're saying McGrady for a top 5, so we will see how that one goes, but you did steal my pick. But anyway, they're lining back up on the grid for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. It's round 5 of season 16 here on Apex Online Racing. And there seems to be a gap on the grid there looking at the screen here. We'll see what goes on in just a moment. But here we go, the lights are coming on. 5 red lights are nearly up. Pause. And it's go, and we're underway for the Spanish Grand Prix. Wheel spin off the start. Looks like RC Spider might have got a bit of a jump. Look at Tactician. He is going down the outside, jumping from 3rd into 1st place because there's going to be any drama into turn 1. But there goes Big Parenti, steals it back. Cherry 2Pie sticking his nose down there as well. And Casper is lost out to Sean. Great start from the Ferrari driver going round the outside now with Cherry 2Pie. Big Parenta's gained the lead back from his teammate Tactician as he come up towards turn 4. It's still all going off. Sean now going round the outside the RC Spider, but he's blocked off by the Force India there, and they're still all side by side coming through. Touching there from Sean and Cherry 2Pie as Lee's lost the session, so if he can get back in he can regain control, but that's a shame to see, so there goes my pick already. But coming through towards the back straight, it is a Red Bull 1-2. Tactician nearly got the jump on both of them, but he's managed to get the jump on Spider as they come down towards turn 10 for the first time. Casper having a look at his teammate. There goes VP Damn Daniel up the inside of the Haas, and sort of Eagle, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with the names. Yeah, Vettel Racer actually going up the inside, sorry, there we go, I nearly got confused there. And they come round to complete the first lap. It's going to be a Red Bull 1-2, but Sean, what a start from him. He has already made up 2 places, and Ash, the other big gainer, 6 places up from his starting place, but lap 1 done, and it's a Red Bull 1-2 as he comes streaming down the front straight.
Yeah, just down that DRS back straight, it looked like Sean got an incredible run out of the corner and gained quite dramatically, and he is really on a fly at the moment. I did say keep an eye on Tactician and Sean, as them two could win this race, and I don't want to say I'm a guru, but I'm a little bit psychic, and yeah, I think I might win the prediction one this week, so Lee doesn't seem to be able to compete at all. Sadly for him, a little bit disappointing. Important for Tactician is he's got to keep within that DRS zone. For Big Parenta, this is a case of trying to save them tyres, not lose positions, and when he pits, he's got to try and keep it as close to the other guys as possible, otherwise target degradation could be a horror show for him. RC Spider, Cherry 2Pie, Casper, Vettel, Dan Daniel, they're all keeping very, very tight at the moment. Nobody has really pulled away as Ruben and Ash go side by side. Now, can Ruben get, he has held onto the position from Ash there, and sorry, he's got past him, Ruben, actually, in fact. So Ash has dropped the position after such a great start from him. That is the only 1 second gap that has actually formed out on track, so Ruben could be a little bit vulnerable later on. But there's a real gaggle of cars, a mixture of the super softs and softs with Vettel and Big Parenta on the supers. So Vettel, who is very close onto the rear end of that second Toro Rosso of Casper, could be looking for a manoeuvre. No DRS, of course, until lap 3 as they come through this final chicane, which is a very tight section. We could see a little bit of carbon fibre flying if somebody gets their braking a little bit wrong. It is Big Parenta from Tactician, Sean, RC Spider, Cherry 2Pie, Casper, Vettel, Dan Daniel, the H-Eagle, and Ruben making your top 10. Vettel is gaining a little bit at the moment on Casper. At Sector 3, there is yellow flags. McGrady has lost it. McGrady has lost it through the final corner, and I'm not sure who he's come together with, but there's carbon fibre from a couple of guys. So that, sadly, for McGrady is not ideal. The championship leader has lost the rear end out the final corner, maybe made contact with someone. We might see some people struggling a little bit later, so we might be able to see if someone comes in the pits. But McGrady, who is on the medium compound tyres, gets to pit for soft, so this is a real horrendous afternoon as he goes in the gravel as well. So not ideal from him. So, I mean, my pick and your pick haven't really had a great start, but I mean, I'm winning at the moment, so I'll take it. Oh, no,
there we go. That's what we're going to call the commentator's curse, because the 2 picks we had are both not having a good one. Lee's not back in the lobby yet, so although he's got a ghost car going round, he's not actually racing. And McGrady now out of the race. It'd be a shame for that. The winner in Baku. Be interesting to hear what happened. Hopefully he's in the chat.
Sorry, Pasty has just lost control of the car horrendously and just reset on the track. He's gone up through that sharp uphill right-hander just before the DRS zone and has just lost the rear end completely, and he's lucky to be honest, he didn't end up in a wall. That gravel trap stopped him a treat, but Pasti is very, very lucky, and that just shows how difficult it is around this track.
Definitely so. Try to catch any. We've got a safety car now actually due to it, so there's too much carbon fibre on the track, and the virtual Charlie Whiting has decided that the Mercedes safety car is required, and Big Parenta has taken this chance to jump into the pits, as has Vettel Racer and the Eagle as well. That's an interesting one for some of those in the soft tyres. So we've got a few drivers in the pits: Jim Pasti, Hamilton, Eagle, Parenta and VP Vettel Racer. And it'll be interesting to see what tyres they all go on to in just a moment. But we do have a safety car, same as last week in Baku, an early safety car, throwing a bit of a strategic spanner into the works for a few of them. But although he's going to drop down the field, I'm sure Big Parenta will be pretty happy at that in one way, because he's managed to get rid of those super softs, but he's gone on to a set of soft tyres, and he's going to have to make them last 29 laps, so it's going to be a bit of a tall order there. The other pitters, Vettel Racer, Hamilton, the Eagle and Jim Pasti, all gone on to medium tyres. So under safety car, Tactician leads from Sean, RC Spider in third, and then the two Toro Rossos, the Cherry 2 Pie and Casper, round out the top five. We're on lap 4.
Yeah, the loss of control from Jim Pasti up in turn 9 has brought out the safety car. You've got a feel for McGrady, who's retired from this race and probably could have gotten away with it there. He could have probably caught up to the back of the pack. So yeah, quite a few yellow flags, a bit of carbon fibre on track, and the stewards have decided that the safety car is needed. A bit of a blessing in disguise for Big Parenta and VP Vettel, but I think Vettel maybe has used that a bit more wisely going onto the medium tyres. Big Parenta is taking one hell of a risk on going on soft, so he must be going for a second stop. So his chances of race victory are probably nil to none. But then again, would you say that Vettel, Hamilton, Eagle and Pasti can get them tyres to 29 laps without puncture or major damage? I think it's going to be tight. So the guys who have pitted are going to be in real trouble.
Yeah, even with the medium tyres, it's still going to be a tricky one to get them 29 laps. As I said in the intro, that turn 3 continuous right-hander really punishes the tyres, because it's just constant. You're 50 or 150 mile an hour and increasing ever more as you go all the way through it. So it will still be tricky for them, but they've now at least got their mandatory pit stop out the way, and it means that if they can manage it, they can go to the end. So you see the cars just warming their tyres up, snaking about behind the Mercedes AMG safety car, and this gives us a chance to see the gainers so far. So Ash up to 8th at the moment. He's gained 8 places. There he is in the McLaren, winner in Australia, so he's gained 8 places. Parenta, because his pit stop, is the biggest loser at the moment, dropping down 10 places from first, with VP Vettel Racer dropping 5, having come into the pits as well. But of course those two have made pit stops. Everyone from 11th down has made a pit stop. Lee Findlay shows on the screen, but he has disconnected, so it is a ghost car and will not be classified if he doesn't get back into the lobby. So top 10 still to pit, 5 of them already have, but can they get them to the end will be the important factor here at the Circuit de Catalunya. This is an interesting bit though, Ollie, with the safety car out so early, and obviously with the soft tyre runners, it's probably not what they wanted, to be honest. As the safety car comes in this lap, they would have preferred to have run longer without the pack being put together like this, surely.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. It really does depend. I feel like Vettel has taken advantage. I think it's not really helped anyone. I think the super soft runners had to pit. They had to pit, otherwise it would have just been a pointless exercise. Otherwise it would have just been wasted time. They would have pitted in a few laps time anyway, straight after the safety car. So they had to do it. So they're not really gaining too much tyre wear. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. If anything, it's actually helped the super soft compound tyres guys out a little bit as a safety car about to restart. Let's see how Tactician can do as he heads down this kilometre-long straight. It's going to be one hell of a defence. He's now ramped up the engine. He's got a very good exit out the corner as they come on. He loses the rear end slightly, so does Sean. These tyres are very cold. Cherry 2 Pie has lost out quite a lot with his teammate bearing down his neck at the moment. Slipstream available to him. Casper has gained a hell of a lot on Cherry 2 Pie. Can the Toro Rosso switch around? He moves out to the outside of the track, brakes a little bit later going around the outside, which will turn to the inside. Vettel and Hamilton S, and Cherry 2 Pie just holds on to the position there and does well, but that is a sign of what can happen if you do sleep a little bit and lose your concentration. A couple of guys like Big Parenta on Damn Daniel as well, he's getting a little bit keen, but there's not a huge deficit in target degradation at the moment, so we could see a few overtakes. Ruben has lost out a hell of a lot as well. Look, 1.7 seconds to Casper ahead of him, so he could have Ash and Davidos, the ultimate wingman, on his rear end very, very quickly.
Yeah, Ruben getting caught asleep there, having a bit of a siesta by the looks of it in the restart, and he is already out of DRS zone. Obviously DRS not enabled just yet, even though it came up on the screen. It was, obviously it's a bit of a fault there with the game. Tactician locks up going into turn 10, but managing to maintain the lead for now. So lap 6, first lap after a safety car, and it's pretty much holding steady for now. Tactician leading from Sean and RC Spider. The two Toro Rossos are 4th and 5th. Cherry 2Pie still ahead of Casper, who couldn't get that move done into turn 1. Ruben in 6, Ash in 7 for watching Davidos in the Ferrari in 8th, and Ruben is getting a bit of a train behind him now. You can see it there, Ruben, Ash, Davidos. You can see RC Sam just at the bottom of the picture there in this beautiful helicopter shot, and just behind him is the Sauber, the Haas of VP Dan Daniel to come down towards turn 1, and Ash really close there to the back of Ruben going into turn 1, but he can't get the move done. But it's still all the same up front. We're on to lap 7 of 33 as Daniel picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well.
Yeah, a long way to go for Dan Daniel there as he's picked up a time penalty. I want to quickly note, Big Parenta has dropped back a second. It was actually 2 seconds at one stage, so he must have had a mistake going through the final few chicanes. So it's not really good pace from a guy who's on fresh Somp compound tyres, only 3 laps fresher, of course, than most of the guys out there. Ruben could be under some serious scrutiny very shortly, but you'll notice the top 5 are probably going to play it safe, keep Linus Stern until the pit stops. The biggest loser from the pit stops, in fact, could be Casper. If Cherry 2Pie gets a major undercut, of course, we'll get the pick first. They can't really double stack the cars the way they are because Casper would lose out too much time. I have heard the overcut can be very effective around here with the traffic, especially how bunched up these guys is. Say, for example, Tactician pits now. He is not going to be coming out into any clean air at all. In fact, he's going to be coming out in the thick of a battle at the rear end of this, so it's not ideal for him. Now he might come into a little bit of free space, but by the time he does pit, it's not going to be ideal. RC Spider has got the fastest lap, but none of these guys are close enough at the moment. Ash has dropped back a second to Ruben, and Davidos is taking advantage. He's going to go around the outside now, heading into turn 1. The Ferrari, can he get the move done around the outside? They're going to clip wheels. No, there's a little clip between the two of them. Vettel, Hamilton, S. Can Davidos hold on to it? A little bit of contact between Ash and himself there as he barges him by. Good racing from these two. A little bit of argy-bargy, getting the elbows out. Nothing Verstappen and Ocon style boys. Keep it clean. And they've done it nicely there. Ash holding on to position. A mistake from Ash could have cost him dearly there, but Davidos unable to capitalise. Gaps are starting to form. Cherry 2Pie has dropped behind Casper. So something's happened. I think Cherry 2Pie has made a mistake. I'm not sure if you saw what happened, Andy, but there's a big drop in pace there from Cherry 2Pie. Now 1.2 seconds off of Casper. So yeah, that Toro Rosso, I think he may have picked up front wing damage. In fact, I think he may have actually, because the way he is struggling through the corners, there might be some front wing damage on that car. It doesn't look like it, but he is struggling with understeer. So Cherry 2Pie, he loves a bit of contact, and I think he's made a mistake there and dropped down to 5th, which is not ideal considering his teammate is just a few metres ahead of him.
No, we didn't catch that. I was actually watching the same battle as yourself between the likes of Ash, Davidos. I seen Daniel going round the outside of Sam into turn 4. Lovely move from the Haas, and he's there's contact. Oh, big crash! Big crash. There's 4 cars involved. Davidos, Daniel, Big Parenta's in that, and there's a huge crash there into the chicane. VP Vettel Racer's got a stop-go penalty and another safety car. That was just caught the end of that there. We were following them through the chicane, and then all I seen was carbon fibre everywhere, and it looks like Davidos definitely was involved in that. Big Parenta was involved. He's back in the pits again. Disaster for the pole sitter. RC Sam was involved as well. Daniel involved. Davidos involved. VP Vettel Racer involved, and he has to wait 5 seconds before getting service as well. But another safety car. It just looks like almost 2 or 3 into 1 into that tight chicane. Just was never going to happen. We just caught it as it came off camera. You just seen the carbon fibre fly through the screen, and then when we switched it, 4 cars just off the track, some facing the wrong way, and we have another safety car, the second one in 10 laps. Excitement already.
Yeah, it feels like this race is just yet to get going, if you know what I mean. We've had kind of stop start. It's almost like when a referee just wants to be the centre of attention. The biggest winners from that are actually all the guys who were involved in the accident, in fact. So some of the guys who are on soft compound tyres have risked it onto the mediums, which you'd imagine. Davidos, of course, was involved in the incident, so kind of expected. But you got a feel for McGrady. He quit the race after pitting onto them, after going on to the soft and medium. You know, looking back, he could have come on the soft and then pit again for the mediums. But from what I could tell when I jumped onto that, I think what's happened is
leaders are pitting.
Ladies as well. In fact, pitting out despite a short tactician. You would expect it though from them guys. Casper comes in, so is Cherry 2 Pie. So Cherry 2 Pie is going to take the hit. He's got to come in. Casper has a drive-through though. Casper's speeding in the pit lane, picked up a drive-through there. So not ideal from him. The likes of Hamilton and so on are going to be staying out and taking the lead of this Grand Prix. Who's going to gain in this situation? I know Cherry 2 Pie isn't. As Casper's being held up and not allowed to be released because of the Mercedes. They've come out and Casper has dropped in behind the Mercedes of Ruben there. So Casper's actually lost out a little bit. Sean has kept hold of the provisional lead from RC Spider. As I was saying about the incident, from what I could tell, I think what's happened is two of the cars who were leading, there was a T-bone. The car in front has spun and it's just caused a concertina where the guys have lost their front wing, guys have tried to avoid it, and it's just caused four guys to have to pit early. But big losers from that, Casper and Cherry 2 Pie have dropped down dramatically. Ruben, though, who was showing real slow pace earlier, has gained quite significantly. Tactician has dropped down a position, and Sean has actually gained the net lead of this Grand Prix. It's Sean from Spider and Tactician. So Tactician has dropped down to a provisional P3, so he will not be happy at all. But it actually leads from Hamilton and the H Eagles.
Yeah, it is indeed. And you say obviously showing provisional lead there. If you look at it, everybody but Ash has stopped. Because some of them obviously stopped under the first safety car, and they're on the medium tyres as well. So technically, if you want to look at it that way, CSR Hamilton in the Renault is technically the provisional lead. He's made his stop, he's on the medium tyres, he could technically go to the end. There's nearly crashing under safety car there, and this is really throwing a big spanner into the race in terms of strategy wise, and it's now going to be about the tyre strategy still. Yes, you need to make them go to the end, but it's now going to be who can you pass on the track without causing any more damage. Tactician was a big loser in that. He was ahead of Sean in RC Spider, and he's now behind him on track after those pit stops, so he's lost at least 2 places there in terms of who he was behind. But those that pitted on the first safety car, Jim Pasty and the Eagle, CSR Hamilton, they've gained on this. Although their tyres are 6 laps old, they have already made their stop. Ash in the lead at the moment on the soft tyres, but he is still to stop yet, so he is going to lose out big time. And I think I don't know, you think he's made a mistake there not coming into the pits there, Ollie? Because it seems quite strange in the soft tyres to stay out. Maybe he's hoping for another safety car.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the amount of incidents were happening, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to believe that. I think it's relatively smart. I'm saying that purely because I think the guys who are on 7-lap-old mediums, Pasty, Eagle, and Hamilton, I do not think they're making it to the end. I really do not. And I think if he's going to play it tactically, he can get them soft tyres. You think they've only really had 3 or 4 competitive laps where they've actually been tested. I can't imagine the percentage on them tyres is high. If he can make them last long enough, could you maybe say super softs at the end of this Grand Prix? It's a risk.
Possible.
It's something you may consider, but I mean, considering where Ash started, I think he'll be happy with just points at this rate. But that's a question or not. But with the incidents we are seeing, you'd imagine we're going to see another safety car because there's a lot of petty incidents. Expect Cherry 2 Pie to probably be in the steward's inquiry about something that really doesn't need to be inquired about. But he's got a tendency, the drivers know it, and there's been a few petty things, safety car in this lap, so we could see some interesting ones. We mentioned earlier how Casper had a really good exit out the corner and Cherry 2 Pie didn't, so that 1 kilometre straight at the exit out of the final corner could be vital for the lead of this Grand Prix, especially considering the tyre life on Ash, Hamilton, Eagle and Pasty.
Yeah, definitely. So safety car, as you say, coming in this lap. I will say though, Hamilton on the mediums, he's tried it every race this season to run the alternate strategy, so he's got a bit of experience in terms of running this kind of strategy, so he could be prime position if he's managed to get the tyres under control. As Ash now becomes the safety car, we wait for him to come flying round the corner, and we are underway. Here we go. So Ash is now letting him go. Look at the 4 wide at the back. Goodness me. Sean, Spider, Jim Pasty, I can't even name them all, but they're 3-4 wide there, and it's just an absolute train coming down to turn 1. This could be a disaster, or the absolute best thing we ever see in the world. There goes Spider around the outside. He gets squeezed by Jim Pasty. Sean's pushed Ruben off. Oh. Pasty's round spin. The other's Ferrari's off. Davidos is off. Everyone's sideways, and it has happened again. And Jim Pasty, 5-second stop go penalty as well. Ruben went off as well. They both came across the track, and how no one hit them, I do not know. But Davidos nearly in the middle. badly that again, but Sean and RC Spider managed to avoid it. Tactician falling back there, fighting with Cherry 2 Pie at the moment, and it's just ongoing, but that was 4 wide down the front straight at one point, and it was bound to end in a disaster going into turn 1 and 2, but thankfully we're still under racing conditions here. Lap 12 of the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, it looked like Pasty was pushed off slightly. Sean now going for a manoeuvre on the H-Eagle. He's up the inside. Can he get it done? He can do, and that's him up into P3. So he's making one hell of a charge in this Grand Prix. He wants to try and get his name onto that top section of the standings. A really good start from him and a real good race so far. Cherry 2 Pie is actually dropping down quite a lot. VP Vettel's just running to the back of Tactician, I've noticed. Cherry 2 Pie just hit the rear end of Vettel, so we wondered why the incident happened. I think we may have had it answered. RC Spider has had to go into the pits, must have picked up some front wing damage. Notice from that incident, RC Sam is in the pits as well. Both Force India, so disaster for Sam. We obviously spoke about the incident. Sorry, got to jump on. Cherry 2 Pie, Dan Daniel and VP Vettel all going side by side. Is there going to be contact? No, there isn't. They all get through there nice and safely there as Sean has got past Hamilton, who we obviously mentioned about the alternate strategy not going well for him. Sean is flying at the moment. But this midfield scrap is really, really intense with these guys. There's going to be wheel-to-wheel action throughout this Grand Prix. Cherry 2 Pie is struggling a hell of a lot as Dan Daniel is all over his rear end now as they come into Dan Daniel making a lunge up the inside. Little lock-up. Going to be contact between the two of them. Well done from both of them for no damage, but Dan Daniel is getting feisty behind there as he tries to make his way through the field and try and gain some positions, but Cherry 2 Pie is not giving an inch at the moment as they're going to head up into turn 9 now. Down the back straight with no DRS, I believe, available. Dan Daniel has to do it on pure pace alone now as he comes through now. He's got a great slipstream down now as he up the inside. Cherry 2 Pie and both of them lock their front tyres there. Dan Daniel gets the manoeuvre done. Cherry 2 Pie has to concede there. The place drops down to P8 after a really good start on the restart. He is struggling a lot on them tyres, so he's not finding the mediums comfortable at all. But a great little scrap between them two, and Dan Daniel moves up into P7.
Yeah, good battling ongoing. RC Spider's retired from the race as well as DRS enabled. We're watching Sean slipstreaming his way behind the McLaren down the straight. He's going to have to go to the outside. Ash back to the racing line, makes his one move, and Sean just not got enough of the braking to go past on this occasion. But that Ferrari is all over the back of that McLaren, and obviously with fresher tyres, you've got to think it's not going to be long before he's passed. Ash is having to defend here going into turn 4. Sean looks to the outside. They're side by side. They come through the corner here onto the curb. Sean's got the inside for the next corner, turn 5, and he is through. Can Ash get the power down out of the exit? Those tyres will be screaming nearly though, those softs, and Sean is through and into the lead of this race. And we Ash there and a couple of other drivers who have pitted earlier like Hamilton and the Eagle, albeit on the mediums. Who knows, this could be Sean's chance to disappear off into the distance, while those that have already pitted earlier in older tyres maybe hold up the cars behind.
Yeah, we didn't expect Ash to show too much pace on them older soft tyres, but the way Sean dispatched of the H-Eagle, Hamilton and Ash, I believe it was just a lap that he got past all three of them, was truly sensational. The H-Eagle is all over the rear end of Hamilton. Tactician set the fastest lap to be dubbed in by Casper, who's now set the fastest time. He obviously had to drive-through penalty for speeding under, I believe, the second safety car he sped under, so that was not ideal from him. He could make a charge for it. Keep an eye on him. The H-Eagle is all over the rim into Hamilton for P3 now. He's got the slipstream and DRS available to him. Hamilton's going to make his defensive manoeuvre, covering off the inside, making the Sauber go the long way around. He goes for the outside manoeuvre, thinks better of it. Going to go for the switchback now as they head up the hill. Try and get an optimal line now. Can he hang it around the outside of turn 3? It's going to be tough off camber, but he's going to slipstream Hamilton. There's multiple overtaking opportunities, such as here into turn 4. Can he get the move done? He's later on the brakes. Can he get it? I don't think he's going to, but Hamilton is really struggling on their mediums at the moment, whereas it looks like the H-Eagle is thriving. Can he go for a late lunge up the inside? He can do. Up the inside he goes. They're going to continue to go side by side. Can the Red Bull behind the Tactician take advantage? I think he can. He gets past Hamilton as well, and Hamilton's lost 2 places. Surely not Vettel as well. No, he cannot. Hamilton has lost 2 places, but it could well be 3 or 4, or maybe even 5. He could drop down quite dramatically. Their tyres are really not looking good on the mediums, which is not a good sign for the likes of Sean and co, who are on their medium tyres.
No, a Tactician looking up the inside of the Eagle into the bottom corner here under DRS nearly, and no, they just avoid contact as VP Vettel Racer get past Hamilton as well. That Renault is going backwards at the moment, which is not good for the Renault driver at all. But some good driving there, and it was a good move from the Eagle, and he's wanting to go and chase down. There it is, that McLaren. You can see up ahead already a 1.4, but it is a lot closer than that, I can say, as Sean sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 20.396 in the Ferrari out out front, and he has got a lead of 2.5 seconds over Ash in second, Eagle in third, there's Tactician in fourth, and you can see this midfield battle, oh, not quite midfield actually, it's third, fourth and fifth onwards, but they're all over as Daniel gets past Hamilton as well. So the Haas driver now getting past the Renault, and that is definitely not good news for those on the mediums, because if that Renault is struggling for tyre wear, then that means that most people might even need to make another stop or really drive as if they were their granny on a Sunday shopping trip.
Yeah, Cherry Super's gone for a late lunge at the inside of Hamilton. This could go horribly wrong, but he's just about got by there. An opportunistic manoeuvre had to be done. Hamilton couldn't defend for him, and he's got past him nicely there. He has dropped a little bit behind Cherry Super, but he can now start the push. I'm a little bit worried there with the history of spins and crashes for Cherry Super. I thought we could have another disaster, but Hamilton could come back at him with DRS and slipstream available to him. Big Parenta though looking on Hamilton. He hasn't heard the memo that he's struggling and didn't go for a late lunge there. I don't think Hamilton could have defended either way. The H-Eagle's showing some decent pace, unlike Ash, who is really struggling in that tangerine coloured McLaren. He's really on them tyres on 15 laps. If he's going to try and make them last for them super softs, it's going to be one hell of a risk. We know now the soft tyres aren't going to be lasting half a lap of the race, and there you go. So Ash is coming to the pits undoubtedly for medium compound tyres, which has made the H-Eagle now vulnerable to the car behind of Tactician. We talk about Hamilton struggling on tyres, not the same case for the H-Eagle. There's a car exiting the pits, I think that might be, it's RC Sam. So he's really struggling and being lapped. He's cut off the first corner, and the H-Eagle now and Tactician are going to be heading up into turn 3, and this could be a dangerous moment for the H-Eagle, who has got a gaggle of cars behind him. Sean pulled out 4.2 seconds at the moment, but the H-Eagle is staring down the barrel of the gun at the moment with a hell of a lot of cars in a train who all want that place off him and all want to be gaining at least one place, which could be worth some important championship points. But Sean is the big gainer here after that fantastic restart from him. He is really pulling away and riding off into the sunset like a Fast and Furious film.
Yeah, definitely. So Big Parenta's managed to get past CSR Hamilton as well, so that Renault is going backwards a lot quicker than dropping a coin off the top of the Empire State Building at this moment in time. But look at this, we've got second, third, fourth, fifth, nearly sixth as well. Cherry Tupai's not too far back, Big Parenta catching up to him as well, and Dawidos will be the next one to have a go at Hamilton, and there he is on the screen just now before we jump back to these guys up front. But it's fast and furious action, as you say, Ollie, as we're on to halfway now into the Spanish Grand Prix. That was Sean just going through the screen there, your leader, 4 seconds clear at the moment from the H-Eagle and the Sauber. Tactician in third, VP Vettel Racer and the other Sauber fourth, and then it's the Haas, the VP Dan Daniel in fifth place as they come down into turn 1. RC Spiders left the session, he was already out of the race, and his teammate is the last runner on the track at the moment, down in 14th. RC Sam's made about 3 pit stops now as well, having got caught up in some of the action that's caused one of the 2 safety cars. So lap 18, and it is just go, go, go. But how are these tyres going to last, especially the H-Eagle? 14 laps as Tactician locks up going into turn 5. There's an interesting strategy battle still to happen. Who can make these tyres last, or will anyone need to make another pit stop? And if so, when will they do it? Ash came back out in 12th place and he went for the medium tyres, so he went for the safe option, knowing that he should be able to get to the end with those tyres.
Yeah, last lap the H-Eagle actually gained 1/10 of a second. He's been matching Sean's pace this lap so far, keeping it around about 3.9, 3.8 seconds is where it's been for most of this lap, and he's doing a really good job. So if you're the guys on the mediums, you'll be thinking at this moment in time that it's probably safe enough to get the tyres till the end of the Grand Prix, maybe, because the H-Eagle's showing great pace, but Hamilton is not. So there's 2 real opposite ends of a coin, you could say, between them 2 at the moment. For Hamilton, he's now dropped past Dawidos, who is starting to pull away slightly from him. A little bit of respite with Ruben behind. Casper's Gaming. Ash just come out of the pits onto mediums, fresh mediums, I should mention. 12 seconds to Casper, and so around about 12 seconds if he wants to pick up some points this Grand Prix. Sean is not gaining dramatically. In fact, he's being matched by the H-Eagle, who's almost had a second wind at this stage of the race. He's doing very, very well, the H-Eagle, to try and get onto the list for driver of the day. He's doing an exceptional job at the moment and backing up the pack. VP Vettel probably will not be happy with the way that things are going at the moment, because this gaggle of cars are holding him up, and meaning that these tyres are going to be extremely sufficient to dirty air at the moment. And they're going to be feeling every single wheel twitch, every single mistake that he makes, even if he dips it onto the curb. Then tyres and then Pirelli rubber is going to be feeling every part of it, and it's going to be a struggle for him to get them tyres to the end of the Grand Prix, I can tell you that. If it looks like Hamilton is struggling at the moment, imagine what Vettel is going to be going through very, very shortly on them tyres. They're probably going to be screaming very shortly, and he's probably going to pit onto a set of super softs if he goes for anything. So we could see Vettel push a little bit later on. Obviously, he was one of the guys who started on the super softs. We expected him to go for a two-stop, and he may well just be executing that later on. But Tactician, once again, going to be holding on to the rear end of the H-Eagle. Lap 20 of 33, 14 complete laps still to go. Here comes Tactician, though, gaining dramatically. It was 2 tenths as close as he's been. H-Eagle defending the inside line. Can he go around the outside later? Braking from the H-Eagle. He could outbrake himself. He's going to compromise his line as they head up the hill into turn 3. Can there be an overtaking move opportunity into turn 4, maybe even turn 5? Here comes the H-Eagle now defending from Tactician. No Rosberg and Hamilton, guys. Can he go around the outside of Red Bull? Surely not. He's going to have to try and hang it, but the H-Eagle is really struggling. A great exit out the corner from Tactician. He's left over the long way round. We've seen a few guys go for it, then guys just avoiding contact, but Tactician is going to get a little bit impatient now, and he has dropped a bit of time to Sean. The H-Eagle doing a fantastic job at defending, though, on much older tyres.
Yeah, brilliant defensive driving there from the Chinese Grand Prix winner in the Sauber, but I don't think it's going to be much longer before Tactician. He looks like he's really got the bit between his teeth here. DRS open down towards turn 10. Will he have a go under brake? And he thinks about it, but no, pulls back in, but he locks up a little bit there. And Big Parenta and Cherry Tupai are starting to catch up to this battle as well, so we could have a 6-way scrap before long if this continues. But the Eagle doing a good job on those older tyres, but he's now 4.3 seconds behind Sean, and Sean is disappearing off in that Ferrari, and he'll be happy at that, because that's going to allow him to just pick his braking points, hit the apexes, and really take it easy on those tyres so he can make sure they get to the end. But here we are, lap 21, Tactician with DRS again. He's a bit further back this time, so it looks like it's going to be Daniel on Vettel Racer. He's swarming all over the back of the Sauber as the Haas driver, but he's unable to get it done. But the Sauber's compromised himself just like his teammate did last time round. He's able to hold it. Tactician though, lovely heli shot here coming up towards turn 4, and again Daniel and Vettel Racer, he's going for the outside line, and there goes the Haas round the outside. Can he hold it the whole way round? He's nearly on the grass. He's on the grass. Could have been a big accident there. He's still got the inside for this one. They touch wheel to side pod, and the Haas sliding out the corner. Has he got the move done? It looks like it, because this is not really a passing place, and there it is. VP Damn Daniel and the Haas up into 4th place. Lovely bit of driving there, a little bit of a bump, but nothing too out of the ordinary. But Tactician is going to have to get past the H-Eagle quickly, because here comes Vettel Racer having a look there, a wee bit of a dart out, but he decides better off it. Big Parenta has got past Cherry Tupai in the background. We just missed that there. And Davidos catching up to these three as well, and it's a wee bit of a gap to Ruben and Casper, and Ash is catching up to him. He's 13 seconds now behind Casper. It was about 21 not too long ago, so he's really got some pace at the moment in that McLaren. Lap 23 we go on to, 4.3 seconds the lead to the leader, and it's going to be another chance under DRS here for Tactician. He's closer than last time round. The H-Eagle goes to defensive, but no chance of getting through there. But can Tactician use the switchback and get a better run through turn 3? The tyres will be screaming in agony through this long corner, 160 miles an hour, and here we go. Is it going to be a move up the inside? No, it's a move up the outside there, and again, nope, not able to do so. Good defensive driving from the Sauber, and able to hold off the Red Bull for now.
Yeah, the H-Eagle is placing its car absolutely perfectly. I'm waiting to see the moment where Tactician maybe goes for a little lunge, maybe goes for a switchback, an unexpected Verstappen-esque move. Hopefully not an Ocon-esque move, if he has anything to do with it. But the H-Eagle is defending like his life depends on it at the moment. Looking a bit further back, you mentioned about Ash gaining. He's actually starting to drop a little bit. It was at one stage 11, it's now 14, so I'm a little bit surprised. Casper as well has still not got past Ruben, which is a little bit surprising. Cherry Tupai has dropped out of DRS from Big Parenta and has got the Ferrari of Davidos all over his rear end. But the main battle, of course, is Tactician and H-Eagle, who's actually made a mistake there. Tactician has made a shocking line through the first part of the chicane, and that could actually open the opportunity for Dan Daniel if he can get that exit nicely done. He seems to have a good exit here. Can he get a run on Tactician? He's very close to him. In fact, Tactician may be having to look in his rear view mirrors about the Dan Daniel, the German behind him. Can he get the move done? I don't think he can, so that's sadly for him not going to be a move. Davidos though on Cherry Tupai, he's got some straight line speed on him, going to go around the outside, wheel to wheel between them two, no contact fellas, and Davidos the pole has got past the Brit Cherry 2 Pie, sadly for him, isn't really having a great race. He's doing better than expected, but he's got his teammate right behind him who he's been in the shadow of for large parts of this season. He needs to pick up the pace and try and get back past Davidos, but the Surrey-based man is sadly unable to defend against Davidos' lightning-quick pace there, and Davidos really trying to get out the shadows of Sean, who's having an absolute flyer at the moment, but isn't gaining, I've noticed, as much as you'd expect. It was around about 3.8, 3.9. It's only 4.6, and considering all the battle that the H-Eagle and Tactician have been up to, you would have thought that he would have pulled away a little bit more than he has.
Yeah, it could be he's obviously just taking it easy on the tyres, of course, to get it through to the end of the race, but you know, you would have thought, as you say, to take advantage of the free air and the fact that these guys are all battling to just pull out a much bigger lead to help him at the end of the race. But who knows, the Dutchman have possibly got it under control, and he might just show us up to be absolutely incompetent at knowing what's going on. But this battle for second, third and fourth still going on. The H-Eagle now done 20 laps in those medium tyres, so Tactician's got 6 lap younger tyres, and he's going for it here again under DRS to the outside. He's nearly side by side, but again, good defensive driving by the Sauber driver, and VP Dan Daniel has got the box office seat here to this action as they come through turn 3 one more time. And is it going to go for the outside? He's again, Tactician just can't get it done, but he's going to go to the inside in the cutback, but that's going to give the Sauber the inside line for the next corner. And again, the H-Eagle holding on. It's brilliant defensive driving here on older tyres from the Sauber driver, but this is really allowing Sean now. He's already gained half a second on this lap, up to 5 seconds now, and it's going to allow those behind to catch up. That was Big Parenta you just seen coming through the screen. With VP Vettel Racer now lost a place to him, so the soft tyres on the second Sauber are starting to run out possibly. So as Tactician blocks up, and they've got Daniel going up the inside there, nearly contact, but they've managed to avoid it. Good driving from both. I thought Tactician was going to go straight into the back of the Sauber there, and Daniel looked for the opportunity, and there was nearly contact between those two, but again managing to keep it all together on the road. But it's frantic action here in Catalunya. It's normally seen as being a bit of a bore fest in real life, but we're getting plenty of action tonight to keep this one going.
Yeah, expect Big Parenta to maybe start to gain onto this little squabble here, as these guys are very, very tight. Dan Daniel needs to try and keep it patient, because there could be contact between them two. The way H-Eagle is infuriating Tactician, I imagine he's going to start to get to him very, very shortly. But Big Parenta has got to start to gain on these guys ahead of him if he wants a chance of some big points, which he's currently in 5th. You can still maybe get some more out of this, as H-Eagle has actually gained a little bit on Sean there. It was 5.2, it's now 4.9, so the H-Eagle has got some genuinely rapid pace. If he was on fresher tyres, I think he'd be taking the race to Sean at this rate, but doing a great job. Hamilton has got past his CSR friend, you could say, more like, as them two actually having a great little squabble trading place as they head up through turn 3. They're going to come into turn 4. Can Hamilton get the manoeuvre done on fresher soft compound tyres as he goes round the outside? Longer way to go. These two having a great little squabble trying to get some overtakes. It does actually show how tough it is to overtake round here, but the McLaren is not giving up. He's going to go a long way round. Lock up from both of the guys, a major one from the McLaren, and Hamilton is unable to get the manoeuvre done. But it is showing how difficult it is to overtake round here, even with a kilometre long straight that the guys do have. It's probably because of the final corner is not really a high, you're not really gaining too much through there. You can't get early on the power, you can't gain too much. Some other battles to keep an eye on. In fact, the big one, I'd say, is Casper on Cherry 2 Pie, which actually brought Ruben into this as well. So this little squabble of the guys for 8th position could get very, very tasty. Some 2 Toro Rossos. Casper, in fact, had a drive-through penalty and has a fantastic recovery drive. Has to be mentioned from him. He's shown some great pace. Cherry 2 Pie, he's going to have to defend against his teammate very shortly, but I don't think he's going to get the move done. Tactician is very close. They head up in the hill though into turn 3. It's something we've seen many times before. H-Eagle defending that inside line, and Tactician having to get creative. If I was him, I'd switch to the left-hand side, try and take the inside line, but the H-Eagle covers it off nicely. Got to go around the outside, but he can't do. The H-Eagle is parking his car perfectly on the apex every single time, and there is nowhere for Tactician to go. He needs to get inventive here on lap 26 of 33.
Yeah, again, if you want an idea of what good defensive driving is, just watch what the H-Eagle's doing here. He's parking it on the apex, he's making one move when he does, he's getting on the brakes at the right time, and he's just holding them up on the apex so that he can get on the power at the right time for him to stay just far enough ahead. But Tactician is bound to be getting frustrated behind that Sauber, and obviously the long longer he's behind there with the turbulent air, those tyres will be getting chewed up as well. Further back, we were watching a little bit of Ash and Hamilton. That's over 11th place. They're still pretty much nose to tail. Keep an eye on that as well. Dawidos is catching up to VP Vettel Racer, who's got back past him, and Cherry Tupai and Casper aren't too far back on that one, so we'll need to keep an eye there. But here comes Daniel down the front straight, and Tactician, they've both got DRS. And where is the Haas? There he is, going to the outside line. They're touching, and Daniel's round and spun. They must have made contact there, and there goes Big Parenta through into fourth. He managed to avoid it, and VP Vettel Racer is going to try round the outside here. Dawidos looking to pick up some scraps as well, but that was a slight bit of contact. I don't think it was anything untoward, to be honest with you, and it just pitched the Haas driver round, and he's gone from 3rd place down to 5th place. So he's lost a couple of places there in that regard. In fact, he's only lost to 1 place, which is pretty decent considering he spun. But yeah, that's not what he wanted. He's now got the train of Vettel Racer, Dawidos, and the two Toro Rossos, and Ruben not far back into that one as well, and that's going to allow Tactician to fully concentrate on his move on the Eagle here. Here we go, up the inside line. He's finally got the inside. He can just kind of squeeze the Sauber, the lock wheels. This could go wrong, but nope, the Red Bull has finally got that move done, and hopefully now, for Tactician's sake at least anyway, he's able to pull ahead. But I don't think the Eagle's going to be done yet. Daniel's still holding off. Vettel Racing's wide, he's on the gravel there, and look at this, 6 cars in one screen. Dawidos and the Toro Rosso's nearly 3 wide. This is going to end in tragedy, surely. Oh goodness me. Casper cutting the chicane to avoid any damage. It's just going off everywhere, and here we go down the front straight. We've got 2x2, it's like Noah's Ark. Ruben right behind doing a bit of NASCAR pushing, and it's now 3 wide down the straight. Come on, camera angle change, we're going 4 wide. Unbelievable. Oh, there's contact. No, big crash. Dawidos, the Toro Rosso, Casper's, oh my, Ruben's got damage as well, and that was bound to happen. Ruben's lost his front wing. Dawidos has got damage as well to his front wing. I'll just check on the two Toro Rossos as they come up to turn 3. Casper looks okay. Cherry Tupai's got damage as well, so 3 of them are going to be in the pits in the moment. But that was 4 wide down the front straight. It was always going to end in tears, that though.
Yeah, from what I could tell, I rode on board with Casper, and I want to stay objective, of course, but it looked like it may well have been Cherry Tupai's fault, purely based on the fact it looked like he had the killer blow with Dawidos, which spun them both. Dawidos had no control. It's definitely not his fault. He was a bit of a sitting duck there. Casper was sitting behind. They were all so close. Cherry Tupai got a little twitch to try and move, and then made contact, and I'm surprised there wasn't major damage. But there was some great battling between them guys there, as Cherry Tupai now being unlapped by RC Sam there. So there's some real stragglers out there, but some really interesting late manoeuvres. We saw Tactician got past, and there was just this big midfield scrap, and it's a bit of a shame. Be interesting to see who stays and who goes out on track. It looks like Cherry Tupai, yep, he's coming into the pits. A little bit of a cut of the line there as he exits there, almost touches the wall and picks up more damage. He's into the pits. Dawidos has stayed out, so he didn't pick up too much, so maybe karma a little bit there in the end of it. Ruben has retired, which is a bit surprising, considering, I mean, he could have just come into the pits for the end of the Grand Prix. Cherry Tupai is seeing it out. Ash is now going to come across the line and overtake him, so is Hamilton. So them two, who looked like their races were dead and buried. I just want to quickly mention, I kept mentioning this about McGrady having the two safety cars that could have helped him, considering he had that early damage. He must be kicking himself, the championship leader, because he could have picked up significant points and been up there where about Big Parenta and Dan Daniel are with the way things have gone. This has been an absolute hectic race and chaotic race from start to finish. Hamilton's got back past Ash once again. Them two have been squabbling all race long. It looks like Casper and Vettel is probably where the big battles are going to be. It looked like it was going to be one hell of a chaotic end to this Grand Prix. It's now kind of died down a little bit as after that contact between Casper, Dawidos, Cherry Tupai and Ruben. 4 abreast down the start-finish straight. It went horribly wrong.
It did indeed, and you've got to think as well, all of that action came about after VP Daniel tried to go around the outside of the H-Eagle, and Tactician, remember, into turn 1, and he spun, and that brought him into play with those guys, and we ended up with them all side by side, and we obviously seen what happened. But here goes Casper on VP Vettel down the front straight under DRS, but that Sauber's keeping close enough, but there the Toro Rosso driver got the move done, and he's obviously quite lucky to not have any wing damage after all of that. So he was in the middle of it as well, and he is through into 6th place. Dawidos still, as you say, going round. He is in 8th place at the moment. He's definitely got wing damage to the front right hand side. He's missing the end fence off of that one, so that Ferrari, as you see him going very wide through turn 3, will be handling like a shopping trolley at the moment, but he's just trying to get to the end knowing that there's only a few laps to go. But we've not seen much of this guy, the other Ferrari, Sean the Dutchman, the winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix, leading the race by 7.5 seconds, and he has just been out and away. And as you say, it was the restart when he was behind the likes of Hamilton and Ash, and then he got dispatched them pretty quickly, and he's just disappeared while everyone else has been battling and bumping wheels and obviously having incidents. So it's going to be, if you keep it together, a second win, and we're finally going to have a repeat winner unless something happens, and I hope that I've not cursed it.
Yeah, it's. I think an honourable mention has to actually go. You're probably going to be a little bit, why is this an honourable mention? But RC Sam, purely because he's 43 seconds off the pace. He's been lapped by most of the midfield, but the fact that he's still here racing is quite an honourable thing to do. As Big Parenta and the H-Eagle are getting very close, they head up into turn 3. I'll go back to that in a second. The H-Eagle's tyres are now starting to fall off the cliff, and Big Parenta, who started this race, you know, unexpectedly on pole on them super soft compound tyres, has done a great job, and he's now up into P3. So I really didn't expect him to be anywhere near the podium. I did say Sean and Tactician were the ones who were probably going to win it. You know, I was right. But Big Parenta up into P3. The H-Eagle will be a little bit upset about that. But P4, considering the race he's had, is something to have a lot of pride over. But yeah, for me, honourable mention for a very, very good showing from RC Sam. Many people have forgotten about him, but 42 seconds off the car ahead of him. And he has, you know, just kept going, chugging away. And it shows a lot of respect for the rest of the guys out there that he's still there. You can rage quit, you can leave, like Ruben, RC Spider and McGrady have. But he has stayed out there and showed full respect to AOR, and that's something that I think we should all be proud of.
Yeah, definitely. So a lap down on the lead as well, and as you say, 42 seconds behind Jim Pasty, so he's going to be finishing in the 13th position. But coming up to the last couple of laps now, Sean is now on to lap 32 of 33, and it's starting to calm down now. There's a wee bit of gaps between them, so 8.5 seconds nearly between Sean and Tactician up at the front. There is the Ferrari driver, and there is the first of the two Red Bulls. Big Parenta is in third now after that move on the H-Eagle. The pole sitter obviously getting caught out with the safety car and then getting caught into some of the traffic as well with the second safety car, but he's obviously managed to regain and he's on the podium at the moment. The H-Eagle, though, some brilliant defensive driving. It was absolute textbook what he was doing, I've got to be honest, and it was brilliant to see some really good driving, but those tyres are falling off the cliff. 28 laps old now. He is in 4th at the moment. Daniel is in 5th in the Haas and trying to catch back up to the Sauber driver. He spun round early on a wee moment ago into turn 1 as Cherry 2 Pie retires. See if we can find out what's going on there. Let's just see if he's dropped out or not. But no, there's yellow flags through here, so see, I'm following Jim past it. He's off the side, yeah. He's lost it. So that's Cherry 2 Pie.
There's a battle between Davidos, Hamilton and Ash, which is probably where all of our excitement's going to happen. Hamilton is really eager, and there he goes. Davidos, has he got a problem?
I think he just knows with the wing damage he's not going to be able to challenge.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have, if I was him, I would have probably stuck my nose into it at least. Hamilton pick up a 3-second penalty there, so maybe, just maybe, he could still gain if he keeps within that 3 seconds and keeps his nose out of it. But Ash and Hamilton, honourable mention again. Them two have been squabbling the entirety of this Grand Prix, and it has been kind of on the back burner with all the action with Sim, but Ash and Hamilton have really gone hammer and tong, really doing a good job for the CSR guys in separate teams, but obviously under the same esports branch, and they're doing a really good job. Here comes Ash now with DRS and Slipstream. Hamilton is going to be sick of the sight of that McLaren come the end of this Grand Prix. Round the outside goes the McLaren. They're going to just touch wheels there. No damage from the two of them. Ash gets the move done. Sector 1 and 2, yellow flags, I'm assuming, is for them two. And yes, they've probably gone off the track. But Hamilton has lost a place out to Ash. He's done a great job. Vettel has got past Casper. Nope, the yellow flags are for Casper, who's picked up a puncture. So this will now promote these guys another position. And I dare say Cherry 2 Pie is gutted that he's retired now, because he would have made it. Casper, whose tyres are 23 laps old, has got a puncture. But you've got H-Eagle on 29 lap old tyres and Vettel on 24 lap old softs. making it to the end.
But it cut across, here comes Sean over the finish line. He is the first repeat winner as he spins it over the line, puts it in the wall. But he is the winner of the Spanish Grand Prix. Good result from him. The two Red Bulls come home second and third. Tactician ahead of Big Parenta, who's got a 5-second penalty, so we'll need to see how that affects. And it means it knocks him off the podium, so the H-Eagle gets third place because of Big Parenta's penalties. Daniel in 5th place. Vettel Racer coming home now to take 6th place. And then it'll be Ash and Hamilton for 7th and 8th. Dawidos will take 9th, and Casper with that puncture, you can see it there, the left rear, just trying to hold on, and Vettel Racer's going to lose out, so Ash gets 6th place, Hamilton 7th, and Vettel Racer drops to 8th due to his penalty. Dawidos 9th. Casper will take the last point despite the puncture, meaning he's scored points in every race still so far. And then we're just waiting here for Jim Pasty to cross the line in 11th. RC Sam has already crossed the line a lap down, and that is it. But it means that your winner of the Spanish Grand Prix here on AOR F2 League is Sean in the Ferrari, and becomes the first repeat winner in season 16. So we're just going to get the final and full classified results. These are the unofficial official results, as someone I know does say as well, because obviously penalties and possible steward inquiries, you never know, could have an impact. But there we are, the Ferrari driver on the podium taking the trophy, and that is a second win for the Dutchman, and that is going to propel him back up the championship standings. And when we interview the drivers, I will do my best to get the point standings to you for those that scored points. But it's Sean that wins in the Ferrari, Tactician takes second for Red Bull, and it is the H-Eagle who takes third for Sauber due to Big Parenta's time penalty, and fourth Big Parenta in the Red Bull, the pole sitter, 8 seconds worth of penalties there as you can see at the end, and 5th place for VP Damn Daniel.
Yeah, I've got. We'll go for driver of the day in a second. I'll give you the nominations you'd imagine. Ash, Hamilton gaining significant places, but for me, I'm going to give driver of the day. I could even say Sean for driver, but I'm going to give it to the H-Eagle just purely for the amount of pace he had on 29 lap-old tyres, considering as well where Casper finished. Or his tyres went on 23 laps. I'm surprised he got them to the end, but he done a significant job. Not sure about you, Andy.
No, it was a really, really good job to get him to the end, and he's obviously got the podium out yet thanks to those time penalties for the pole-sitting Red Bull, who finishes in 4th. But frantic race, we've seen 2 safety cars, we've seen 2 big accidents involving at least 4 cars as well. One early doors caused the second safety car, and then that one near the end. But brilliant action all through the field, and I'm sure that you're getting the drivers for the top 3 hopefully into the chat just now.
Just waiting on the H-Eagle now. I'd actually love to hear from. But we've got Sean and Tactician. Well, while we wait for H-Eagle, might as well begin things. Sean, congratulations, the first 2-time winner here in F2. I wouldn't say it was a straightforward race because it was very, very challenging at parts. But once you got up into the lead, you never really was challenged.
No, I didn't got any chance. But I got, for me, so lucky that in the pits I jumped Tactician. That was for me the most crucial thing that happened, because if I didn't jump Tactician, I think the race would be completely going the other way. But after the second safety car, I don't know which driver it was, but he just stopped just before the final corner, and it was such a mayhem. I did narrowly could avoid the drivers there, so I didn't got any front wing damage. And then just after that, the mayhem just got loose, and I saw Dawidos just spun around by Cherry, and yeah, it was just all guns loose, and luckily I avoided all of that, and Tactician and Eagle were fighting so hard, and I could provide from that.
Yeah, it was a good race. Obviously, you mentioned about the pit stops, 2 safety cars. Obviously, last week at Baku we had safety cars as well. But them safety cars really did open the race up for you. And there was at one stage, I believe it was a lap and a half, you overtook 3 cars, which was incredible considering how long it took Tactician to get past the H-Eagle. I think it took about 14, 15 laps to get past him. So that was a really exceptional job, and that's probably what won you this race, how quickly you got past them back markers.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky with that, and with him fighting with Eagle with such old tires, I got so lucky with that. And yeah, and after that, Dawidos decided to inform me that on lap 32 my tires were 77% on the rear, so after that I had to be careful. But yeah, after that I had no problems with it, so straightforward win.
Well, it was an exceptional race, and you did fantastic. Obviously, with McGrady not scoring points is a real boost for your championship. As we'll find out from Andy, the standings, I think you might just be up there a little bit. But yeah, Tactician, again, a little bit upsetting and disappointing for you. I just want to point out, Andy will know, I did say at the start of the race you two would probably be the ones to win this race. 1-2. Thanks for backing me up there, fellas. Tactician, it's almost a case of what could have been for you in that race, because you was leading and you had a really good start and you got a great jump and you got past Big Parenta. But you got down in the pit stops. It must be heartbreaking, especially how long you had to get past the H-Eagle and how much it took out your tyres.
Yeah, what could have been is definitely how you could put my race in a nutshell. I was a bit upset, yeah, with a few things that happened in the race. First of all, the safety car that was very unlucky timing for me. I was just going at the main straight by the time the I think it was the second safety car that came out, and that meant that some people got a free pit stop before I could make mine. And yeah, the second thing is that when we came into the pits, that Sean and I think RC Spider got ahead of me in the pits. That was kind of upsetting, but that's racing, and sometimes that happens. But based on pure pace, I think I'm pretty pleased how today went.
Well, you mentioned about how the pit stops and whatnot affected you. What the major effect was being stuck behind the H-Eagle. How tough was it? Because you looked at the way you were stuck behind him. It looked like if you got past, you could have challenged Sean for the win. But by the time you got past, your tyres had just lost all their life.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was stuck behind Eagle for like maybe 15 laps or so.
Yeah, it was around like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was definitely tough getting past him. He was putting up a great defense. Props to him. And I actually have to say sorry to Damn Daniel. I think I had some slight contact with him on one of the laps. But yeah, it was a tough battle. And I don't think I could have caught Sean anyway. I wasn't that much faster than Eagle. And Sean was like 5 seconds ahead of both of us. So fair play to Sean. He definitely deserved the win, even with a slight bit of luck, yeah. But yeah, I'm still happy with the second place.
But before I hand over to Andy to give us the championship standings, I've got to ask you, Sean, you're the first man to win 2 Grand Prix, could well be leading the championship. I think you might be. We'll find out from Andy in a second. But do you think now, the momentum and the confidence you've shown here today, that you can challenge for the F2 title?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I can definitely challenge for the F2 title. I'm going for that, but I'm just not thinking about it right now. We are at round 5 of the 21 rounds, so it's definitely a long way, but it's already nice that you have 2 wins out of 5 races, which definitely helps. And I have to say with Monaco, because that is just one track that's going to take a lot of retirements and maybe even controversy. So if we just survive Monaco without any front-wing damage or anything, then I can definitely say then the F2 title is then definitely on.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for coming here. Sadly, we didn't have the H-Eagle, as mentioned. Monaco next up. We could be seeing anyone in the podium celebrations for that one. We could have 20 guys show up and only 3 finish. It could be absolute chaos, so that's going to be an interesting one. Andy, have you been able to do the maths and get the standings up?
I have been able to get some standing updates. So these are obviously provisional, depending on if I've done my sums right, of course. But Sean has jumped 3 places from 4th. He now leads the championship on 68 points, but he's only 3 points clear of the H-Eagle, who's on 65, who stays in 2nd place. Tactician, with his 2nd place today, has jumped 2 places from 5th into 3rd on 59 points. And VP McGrady drops 3 places to 53 points. He's now in 4th. Ash moves up to 5th place, moves up 1 place in 47. Casper has dropped down 3 places, he's on 46. And Dawados is still in 7th place on 39. I've not been able to get the rest of them done after that, so I just wanted to make sure I got at least the top 6 or 7 done. But Sean has jumped 3 places and retaken the lead of the championship, becoming the first double winner. As you say, Ollie, next week is Monte Carlo, round the streets, Armco very nearby, and if anything today's going to go by, next week we could have a bit of a task trying to keep up with everything next week, that's for sure. But that does it for this evening. Thank you very much to everybody who joined in the stream and watched, whether you're watching this live or watching this back. Myself, Ollie, all the drivers and everyone at AOR appreciates all the support that we get from everybody in the community. My name's Andy. Ollie has been my commentary partner this evening. We will see you next time for Monte Carlo next Sunday, 8 o'clock. But until then, we will see you again soon. Ta-ra.